Oh, a few weeks ago I made a... Wait, I noticed that on all of my videos I never even say my name. You don't know who this stupid blonde guy is. My name is Alexander. This is Headbang Fridays. A few weeks ago I made a video about a DIY cabinet that I made. DIY, do it yourself. Of course I made it. And the thing resulted in quite a, decent sounding speaker. And since I have this tendency of making things harder than they are and making unnecessary improvements on things that don't need any improvement, I had one of those what if, and those stupid what ifs, they never leave me. And anyways, I had one of those what if, and it was what if I can improve the sound of this little thing. Mainly because I noticed that while I was playing and I was practicing, there was this, the fuck is that sound? Like boxy and nasal tone. And by the way, if you haven't watched that video, click here. Now, the overall idea was to create a small practice cabinet that I could use so I could sit my ass somewhere that is not in front of the computer, because it's quite boring and uninspiring to sit there and practice on the same place where you work and spend 8-9 hours a day sitting. It's not fun. So while thinking about how could I improve the sound of this thing, three main things came into my head, or three main ideas that I think I can do in order to improve this little speaker sound. Quality, whatever. So I thought maybe if I can add this is just jasmine tea. I love tea. It's way too early to have a beer. Yeah, right. By the way, this is a fairly new beer that is from Malaga, Spain. There's nothing super special about it. It's just a nice, refreshing lager. It's a beer. It's good. Life's good. TGIF. Cheers. So the science behind breaking a speaker, actually it's mostly related, or is only related with the speaker's soft parts. What usually breaks in is actually the speaker's suspension system. And the suspension system actually consists in two parts, the surround and the spider. The surround is basically, the speaker's perimeter, and it's actually what attached the speakers to the basket, while the spider is on the back of the speaker and is like this corrugated piece of material. These are actually the two flexible parts of the speaker, and it's what allows the speaker to move. So when brand new, these parts are actually quite stiff. So after hours and hours and hours of playing, because of the speaker movement, these are the parts that actually break in. There's not specific as to when exactly the speaker has braked in, or it's broken, or anyway. But some say it's after 8 hours of playing, others say that it's after 24 hours, and some even say that it's after 50 hours of playing. But while investigating, I noticed that around 80% of the experiments, they all agree that 24 hours it's quite enough. Now, is there a huge difference in between a speaker that hasn't been used at all and a speaker that has been played for over 24 hours? Nothing super dramatic, but you can tell the difference. I noticed that mainly the highs and the mids, they get less harsh. They get like a bit more rounded, like something happens on the high end. And also when brand new, the lows are like all over the place, like they tend to suffocate the rest of the frequency spectrum, while after 24 hours you can hear that the lows are where they're supposed to be, while the mids and the highs are a bit more rounded. Once again, it's nothing like a huge super difference, but there's actually a difference, and it's nothing like it's just a myth. It's quite real. So in order for me to break my speaker, I just torture the poor little thingy by playing a loop on my multi-effects processor and then letting that thing play for around 10 to 8 hours a day for 3 days. So yeah, the thing sounded quite a bit boxy, and I didn't fall in love with that tone. So I thought that maybe by adding some absorption material inside the cabinet, maybe that nasal tone was going to be mitigated. And that's precisely what I did. I opened the cabinet, I added some leftover absorption material I had from the vocal booth that I built. Also, if you haven't watched that video, please click here. So what I did was just to add those little pieces of absorption material that I had hanging around, and then I grabbed my stapler and I started putting staples all over the thing. I've also added a little foam thing I had laying around, because I noticed on a test that I did that by cranking up a bit too much the power amp, I would hear a rattling sound that came out of the sheet, actually vibrating with the backside of the cabinet. Now finally, since I was using the speaker straight out of my multi-effects processor, the Zoom G3XN, because of this, obviously the volume was way too low. In order for a passive speaker to work properly, the signal has to go through some sort of power amp. And that is why I actually got this thing right here. And you might be asking yourself, why in the hell am I censoring this? That is because I think that that little unit is quite interesting, and I'm actually working on another video, so fuck you, you're not the star of this video. And also this time I'm actually using a proper speaker cable. So let's see if adding all of these changes improves the quality of the sound. Before I show you anything, fortunately I'm not going to be able to show you a proper A/B comparison. The thing is that while I was doing that take, at that point I swore that I was using one of my saved presets. Now unfortunately, for some reason that was not the case, so here's little me started placing the two tracks, the before and after, on top of each other just to see what would the difference be, and I noticed that the difference was actually way too dramatic, and obviously then I noticed that I wasn't using the same preset. So that being said, I'm just going to be able to show you the clip of the recording that I made before I started torturing this little speaker. Now this is how the thing sounds like after 24 hours of torture. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. It's Friday, go get yourself a cold one, you deserve it. Get together with good friends, listen to some heavy, nice music, headbang like a maniac, and while you're at it,